Greetings, everyone. This is I'm Right.
I'm right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova. Don't you know it?
I do.
All right.
And we're all boosted up.
We're boosted up?
Yep.
What do you mean by that, Jill? Boosted up?
I mean that we not only had our first two COVID vaccinations, but we went and got booster shots too.
Yes.
Separately, but we had same and two different types of booster shots.
Yes.
But we had the same reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, we both had reactions, like the same reactions we had when we got the first and second
This
shot.
one seemed worse to me, though.
Really?
Yeah. Because before, my arm never hurt. This time it felt like somebody had... Well, you said it best. You said before when we were talking about it that you felt like someone hit your arm with a sledgehammer.
The sledgehammer, yeah.
And that's exactly how I felt for a day and a half.
My arm, my shoulders, my
And
lower
then,
back.
Yes, the whole body ached.
One of my legs.
But
I'm very happy that we both got the booster shot.
Me too, because now I feel all better and I feel like I'm ready to take on the world.
Take on the world.
That's right.
World domination.
That's right. Watch out.
Jill conquers the world. Yes.
That's right.
All right. What are we doing this week, Jill?
This week, we are talking about friends.
Friends.
How many of us have them?
Yep. Friends. All right,
it's part of a segment that we call
Stand by Your Stands.
There are several different angles we can take, so I think we should just explore them all.
So explore them all?
Yes.
Well, I know in past episodes we did talk about how I don't have many close friends.
Neither do I.
Oh, please, Jill.
I don't have many close friends. There are many people I know, but not everybody is your friend. Not everybody is your friend.
Okay, so what are all these different categories that we're going to talk about with friends?
Well, in past episodes, to your point, we have talked about the friends we had before you and I ever met.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, but actually, I think your list was most consistent. My list got shorter.
What do you mean consistent? I don't understand what you're
saying.
Like
the people you called friends before we met, for the most part, you still call them your friends.
Yeah, but some of them I've really drifted apart from, and we don't have much of anything in common anymore.
Right, which we've also talked about in the past and it's not so much that they changed, it's that we changed.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think my list, maybe because I'm still changing, I'm really trying to be my best self every day. So maybe because I'm still in flux, so to speak, my list has gotten a lot shorter. And it's not that I don't like them anymore. I just realize we don't have as much in common. And that in some cases, I physically feel ill after speaking with them.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good.
Like it stresses me out. You know, like everybody knows that I carry my stress in my body.
Mm-hmm.
As most people do. But for me, it really can like knock me out.
Jill, do you remember when you used to tell me about different friends and I would say, Jill, they're not your friend. They're not your friend.
Yes.
You would say, yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not your friend.
Like, you don't understand. I've known them X amount of years and we've done this, that together. But I listened to you. I may not have disagreed with you because, you know, that's just what I do.
That's what you do. Disagree with me. What kind of mess is that?
But I did. It made me more aware of my interactions with people. And then I realized, oh, you were right.
Yeah. And we talked about frenemies before.
Which I still think is,
episode.
I don't like that word.
Well, either they are your friend or they're not. That's the way I see it.
That's the way I see it too. So to me, the combination of friend and enemy, there's no such thing.
Okay.
Either they're for you or they're not.
So with friends, actually, there are two of our couples friends. There are two of our couples friends,
Mhm.
and
We have
each
actually 2 couples friends
yes,
because most of
yes.
our friends are not
No, we
coupled.
we have two couple friends
Okay.
for sure, for sure. And
Yes.
as I because I don't want to give out their names, um, but each one of these couples friends have told us stories about how they've had relationships with friends that just all of a sudden just ended, just just ended.
They ghosted them? The
Well,
so-called friends
and
ghosted the people we were friends with?
well, each situation was different. One friend, one couple's friends said that they got ghosted by someone um, because of the election, because President Biden was president, and the other person just cut them loose, wouldn't speak to them anymore
Oh, that's right. They did say that.
because Biden became president.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Which was astonishing because we actually know that person,
yes, yes,
and it surprised us all.
yeah. So I don't know whether that's well. I do know that's a horrible reason to end
It
a
is.
relationship
It is, but a
over.
lot of relationships ended
Yeah, but
because of that
it wasn't
election.
even like they had arguments because I've spoken to the person at length
Yes, we all
at
have.
times,
And
and we could talk about just about
our
anything but with no problem.
right.
So it wasn't
And
like they were at odds with each other
right.
over politics or
But even
something like
then
that.
we all knew we had differences. You
Yes,
know,
and
we
that was
understood
fine.
each other's background and all of that, and it was fine.
Yeah. So
Like you actually could carry on a conversation.
yes, yes, yes. So that was the reason, and I thought that that didn't make sense. Now, in the case with the other couple, um, we were involved in I'll just say a project with uh, this other couple, and and after we were involved in that project, where we went and did
Some
a
things happen behind the
reading,
scenes.
yes,
Yes.
yes, we
Some
went
things happen
someplace and did
behind
a
the scenes.
yeah, but like
But they
why?
but it opened their like we it was something that everybody thought we would be offended by, but we
But
weren't
we were
at all.
yes.
And but it opened our friends' eyes to
Who the other
who the other
people?
people were.
Yeah.
And
And I say, well, that was a pretty decent reason to end some
yes,
friendships. And that was on their part. They decided, oh no, these
these are
people,
not our
no,
people.
exactly.
Yes.
So sometimes when a friendship ends, it's it's for valid reasons. And sometimes it's not. Even with like lifelong friends, like friends you've known since
Forever.
forever, and
Decades.
yeah, and
And then all of a sudden you realize, wait, are you competing with me? Like I love competition. Don't get me wrong. I love competition. But for me it's a friendly thing.
yeah,
Like if you win, great, I'll applaud for you. If I
hmm
win, great. You know, and I expect,
right,
I'm not going to stop being your friend because you won, you know, but
correct,
but
correct.
when you have to start thinking, "Oh, I can't tell this person this because then they'll go into competition with me." Then
Yeah, that's not good.
that's not good.
No, no,
That's
no,
not healthy
right. And
for
and
either party.
yeah, and then I have another friend that I've been friends with for 40 years. Yeah, about 40 years I've been, and we're still good friends.
Yes.
But our friendship is like a give and take. He'll say, "Hey, I got such and such, or whatever. You want it?" Or, I might say, "Hey, I need your help with such and such," and hey, no problem.
But
So
to me that's what friends do. They're there for one another. If you need something, they're there.
correct.
If you triumph if you have a triumph, they're rooting you on. They're
Mm-hmm.
happy they're genuinely happy
Happy.
for you.
Right. Right.
And if something goes wrong, they feel for you too.
Yes.
They're
Absolutely.
not happy that something went wrong
Right. Right.
for you,
Mm-hmm.
because I've realized that some people I thought were my friends really loved it if I were going through something horrible. They loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't.
What do you do about a friend, let's say a longtime friend, you've known them forever, several decades, but all of a sudden you see this person just doing horrible things, whether it's how they interact with their parents or whether they do horrible things to their coworkers. Um, what is that? When they're just doing these really hateful things to other people,
Well,
but
usually,
not to you, but to other people.
well, you said all of a sudden. So
Yeah, it
if
seems
it's
like
behavior
yeah.
I hadn't seen before, then everything has a root.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get to the root to understand why. Is it, have they developed some mental health condition? Have they Are they miserable for some other reason? Or are they because usually misery leads to people doing horrible things
Mm-hmm.
that they may regret later, so I think the answer would first involve figuring out why.
Okay. That
And
well
it
that,
also makes me nervous because if you're doing it to everybody else,
if they're
then
doing it
you
to
may
every
turn it to you may one day do it to me too. It's kind
that
of
is
like
true.
gossips. If someone around you is always gossiping about everybody else, then when you're not there, they're gossiping about
Yeah,
you.
that is very true. Very true. That's very true. Okay. So what else do we have with
Would is that your response to someone like that?
mm, I it's, it's hard to say. I
It
guess
was your
because
question.
yes, but it's still different with each person. Like you said, maybe there is a mental something going on. And then, that's one thing. Or maybe they've always been like that. They've just been hiding it from
True.
from you.
True.
So who knows? But what I do know is as I get older and as I have gotten older, I don't have a whole lot of patience for um just crazy stuff like drama stuff. If someone is creating drama in my life and they're supposed to be a friend of mine, they may not. I may call them on it because that's what friends do. Hey, you've done such and such. That was really wrong.
Right.
But then they may try to justify their behavior
Right.
and say things like, "Well, I'm I'm entitled to that."
Mm.
Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen friends do horrible, horrible things to their parents. Just horrible. And, they're grown. The friend is grown, but horrible things.
Because they feel entitled.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Um, so things like that can, make me say, no, I don't. I might have to cut this friendship loose because it's
So how do you do that? Like I know a lot of people who have experienced many of the scenarios we're describing. But because that person has been in their life for so long, they feel bad to let them go because
yes,
maybe they actually do need a friend, and
yes,
they feel guilty to let them go. But sometimes you do have to purge that list a bit. So how do you do
yes.
that?
Well, I'll tell you something. A close friend of mine's father was also a mentor as we were growing up.
Mhm.
And where I grew up in Long Island, New York, there was there were a lot of thieves. There were a lot of thieves, and there was a lot of drugs and all of that. And with people I grew up with, people that considered to be friends.
Okay.
Okay, but his father came to us and said, "Hey, look, this kid or that kid um, is doing some pretty bad stuff." Okay, he knew for a fact, and he said, "Look, you you two have each other. You need to stick with each other. As far as the other people that are you grew up with that aren't living their life the way, in a good way, you need to distance yourself so you can speak, hey, hi, how you doing, what's going on, stuff like that, but don't hang out with them anymore. So like if they're saying, hey, we're going out to such and such, you want to come?" And say, no,
But
don't
don't you
go.
think that's easier to do when you're in your youth than as an
I
adult?
actually don't think I think it's the same whether you're young or whether you're old. If you realize that someone in your life is just up to no good, like you find out that your friend that you've had for years is running scams. Okay? You know they're running scams because they tell you. I'm running a scam. Hey, I'm running a pyramid scam. You want to get in on it? They'll say things like that, and I'm like, no, no, that's not for me. And they'll be like, oh, okay, well, you're missing out on a good opportunity. So it's very easy for me to say, I need to keep my distance away from that person.
So are you saying that it's easy for you to just distance yourself no matter
Distance,
your age because you learned at a young age how to do that? So
yes.
what about the people who didn't learn that lesson, who didn't have a mentor that told them who to stick with, who not to? What if they didn't learn that in their youth and now they've been friends for decades? What do they do?
Well,
Just
what I
just not
have.
take as many calls, just not go
Well,
out as often.
it's well, actually, if this person was really a close friend, maybe they should talk to them about it first and then see what their response is. And if the
Just
person,
talk to them about their
yeah, the
behavior, like, "Hey,
behavior,
I noticed you're acting a little differently, like,
yeah,
what's going on?"
yeah, but if they get angry about it and they say, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. Mind your own business." Well, it's a lot easier to say, "Whoop, I need to back off. I need to back off." And that's what I suggest people do once they really see it. You know, as a friend, you want to be able to tell your friend anything, even when you see things that aren't right.
Right.
Um,
And if
so
they are going through some type of mental or physical condition, you don't wanna just leave them at that moment, right?
exactly. But I said a few episodes back dealing with mental illness. So if I have a friend that has some type of mental illness and I talk to them about it, but then they are unwilling
To get
to
help.
get help, mm, I have to distance myself.
Right,
Now,
because
if they're
most of us are not equipped
equipped, yes.
to handle
But
certain
but if
conditions.
they say, "Oh, thank you, I did need to talk to somebody about this," and hey, I can help you, find some help if you need that, and but if they're like just refusing, no, it's you gotta
Distance
back
yourself.
off, yeah, and who knows, a year later, 2 years later, maybe they will get some help. maybe they'll come back to you and say, "Hey, I'm sorry about the way I acted when you told me you were trying to tell me certain things and I wasn't listening." I've had friends in my life try to tell me something about myself that I was doing wrong. People were telling me for years. I wasn't hearing it. And
Oh.
and then one time I heard it. I was
Oh.
like, "Oh, that's right. You know what? Yeah, I was wrong." But sometimes people aren't ready to hear it.
Right.
They're just not ready to hear it.
Right. That's
But
true.
I think we have an obligation as friends, if you see something and mention it.
See something, say something.
Well, it's you have to be very tactful
Right.
in how you bring
Right.
it up. You can't
Yeah, you don't have
walk
to
up to the
bash
person
them
and
over
say,
the
"Hey, you're
head.
crazy. You're nutty as a fruitcake." No, you don't need
Right.
to do that.
Right.
So, um,
Can be gentle with
so
your
yeah, but
delivery.
see, friends should be able to tell each other things. Like I have the one friend, and he says, "Hey, man, I really like such and such car, right? It's a luxury car." He said, "I think I'm going to get one." And I said to him, I said, "Do you remember the last luxury car you bought?" He says, "Yeah, it sat in the garage like 98% of the time. And while it was in the garage, it started breaking down. When when you actually got into it and wanted to drive it, it didn't work anymore." He said, "Oh, yeah, I forgot about that." So a few weeks later, I asked him, "Hey, did you?" Because I thought he was going to go out and get a car like the next weekend. I
Right.
said, "Hey, did you get your car?" "Nope, nope, I did not get that car. I'm not thinking about getting that car." So because he would just be wasting his money because he would buy this high dollar luxury car and it would just sit there and
Right.
he wouldn't use it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, since our whole podcast is about relationships and we often talk about couples, most, many of the, well, actually, all of the best couples I know are friends as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
what if that friend is your lover or your spouse that you need to tell them something they don't want to hear,
It actually all the same things apply. I would
including
think.
leaving?
Well, not leaving, not,
Run?
not
You would
leaving.
tell me to run?
No, Jill, not leaving, but being open and honest about what you see,
And how
um,
you
and
say it.
and how you say it. But if you are, in a marriage and both of you are considered yourself to be friends and husband and wife, or wife and wife, whatever it is, um, you should know you love this person enough to where you have to tell them the things that are painful. But again, you have to be tactful,
Right.
in how you do that.
You
And
do.
and I believe we do that.
We do.
It seems
Yeah, you
like
tell me things all the time I don't want to hear. I'll be like, but I hear you, and I take it in. I do hear you.
and what you do the same for me. You do the same for me. Sometimes you'll say, we were at a family function, and you know how it is when you get together with family, and family knows how you used to be as opposed to how you are now. So we were at this family function, and my family start getting on me about how I used to be,
Oh,
and I went off.
yeah, you
I
did.
I I I I had it. I went off
Yeah, you
because
did.
I didn't want to hear it anymore because I had changed. I didn't want to hear it anymore, and I went off. But you were able to tell me, you was wrong. You shouldn't have done that. And I could say, yeah, yeah, you're right. So I went and
But I was
apologized
nice
to
about how I
everyone.
told you.
Yeah, yeah. But you said, but there have been times where I say, "Well, Jill, I'm the one that's the loose cannon in this relationship, but You've been the
Well,
loose
really, I'm
cannon.
the one.
I think you're really the loose cannon in our relationship. And
I've changed. I'm not anymore. There was a time, though.
no, I believe if the same situation arose, you would.
No, I think I
you
would
might-
handle it better now. But yeah,
Well,
I was the one that said what I had to say, and
yes.
then got in the car. Come on, squealed off.
I was scared.
Well, let's get to our second segment that we call
Give it a rest and a resolution.
Conclusion Resolution.
Conclusion resolution. Well, mine's going to be really quick.
Okay.
Love your friends. That's it.
No matter how they treat you.
I said love them. I didn't say stay with them.
You can love them from afar.
You can love them from afar, yes. But love your friends. Treat them as you would want to be treated.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree with that. That's actually what I was going to say.
Oh.
It's like, to have friends, you need to be one.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, let's get to our...
You don't have any?
That was it.
That same thing? That's
have
it?
Friends, you
Nothing
need to be
else?
a friend.
Nothing
That's my
else?
conclusion.
Okay.
Let's get to our third segment that we call...
I'm trying to help you.
You have advice?
Do you have advice?
You
Because I
stalling
am
again?
not. Well, no, I'm actually not stalling because I know everybody thinks I'm going to say run, but I'm not going to say run this time. So what do you have, Jill?
Well, actually, it might seem counterintuitive to what I've said during this whole episode.
What?
But my advice is not everyone is your friend. Know the difference.
No, that's pretty good. That is pretty good.
You may know, I know a lot of people, but not everybody is my friend.
Yes. And remember, and this is like a cliche, but remember, you can choose your friends, not your family.
Sure you can. Sure you can.
But you can choose your friends. See, you can't just like get rid of your family. They're still your family. But a friend, you can sever that.
The family members can be your friends.
Yes, most of my family members are my friends. Also,
most of your family members are my friends.
Yeah, so that's all good.
Especially my sister-in-laws. Shout out to 2 of my sister-in-laws.
Yeah, yay, sister-in-laws.
Hey.
Woo.
All right. Got anything else you want to? That's your advice.
That's about it. That's about it, Jill.
All right. Well, let's get to our last segment that we call.
So, what do you think? What do you think?
Because I'm right.
Because I'm right.
I think our listeners have been very quiet for months now.
They don't want to talk to us.
They don't want to talk to us. They don't want to say anything. But then when we see them, they're like, but I talk to you all the time. No, you don't.
But anyway, that number is 404-594-2247.
Yes. And remember that you can text us at that number. We won't respond unless it's on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You can leave a voicemail at that number, and then there's always the comment on our actual podcast page.
What do you think our listeners?
A written comment.
What do you think our listeners would feel about a live podcast?
They might be scared for us because in that case, you are the loose cannon. Nobody knows.
Excuse me?
Yes, you are the loose cannon. Nobody knows what you're gonna say or do.
Jill,
if it's live,
in 3 years, we've only had to edit something out that I said once.
That's true.
See, I'm doing good.
That's true.
Yeah, no problem.
So you want to do a live?
I don't know. Maybe our listeners could
weigh in
tell
on
us.
that.
Yeah, weigh on us what they think. We have the capability.
Yes, we have the capability to go live. And if we went live, what would we talk about? What would that be?
Whatever it is, the same. It was still the same podcast.
We gotta go.
Yeah, we have to wrap this up, Jill.
I've
been
listening.
trying to tell you this. You've been listening. Listen, listeners, you've been listening to I'm Right.
I'm Right. And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
And I'm Anthony Cordova.
Shout out to Gifford Ivan Cordova III for the music, Nick Finke for the art, and to you two listeners. We really do want to hear from you.
All right. We love you all.
We love you all.
Bye. That was forced, Jill, on your part.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Bye.
Bye-bye.